Hey, thanks so much for dropping by the channel. This is episode 2, and I'm so glad that you're joining and stopping by so that we can all grow better together. In the previous episode, I mentioned a lot about uh, finding a plan and sticking to it and developing some level of consistency. I mentioned some of that, so I thought I would show you kind of where I built my plan from. This was a book I used initially. I never um, completely use their plans because you have to sort of make it work for you, right? So this is where I got my 50K plan last year and this year as well. I changed it a little bit this year to include a good bit more elevation. That was one of the things we found to be lacking last year after doing the 50K. So included some more elevation in there and some switched around some days so that things worked better for my plan personally and for what I have going on in my family and my life. I'll also put some links below that'll help um, direct you to some good plans as well. There are all kinds of good free plans out there, particularly if you're just starting out. There's no need to jump into some super expensive uh, plan out there. I mean, there are lots of other places you can put your money in when you're first starting out. In particular, uh, there's certainly some time down the road for you to get like a personal coach or something like that if that's the direction you want to go. But I would encourage you to start with as many free things as you can, because you're going to be dropping a lot of money on shoes, a lot of money on probably some decent clothing, particularly in the winter. You're going to need a decent uh, some a jacket or some gloves, maybe some different things that are going to keep you warm in the winter. It's not as big of a deal in the summer, but sometimes running apparel can be expensive. So, and particularly the shoes, that's where the biggest cost often is. And if you get some of the better socks, you're going to spend some good money. So for the time being, let's just find some free plans. This one obviously wasn't free for me. I had to buy the book, but it has been a good basis for me to develop a plan that works for me in my particular situation quite well. I'll usually pull something like that in and then develop it on like an Excel sheet, a spreadsheet, so that I can keep track of uh, how things are going and what it looks like, what my mileage for the week looks like. So go ahead and start looking through some of those links. I'll go ahead and put them down there. And if you take time to just take a moment to poke through some of those and see if anything resonates with you. Some of them are based on more of a run, walk, run method. Some are going to incrementally increase the mileage. Some are going to be based on heart rate models. It just depends on what works best for you. You find the model that works best for you. What is going to encourage you the most to get out and explore the outdoors and just get those feet moving. That's what it's really about, right? So let's just try to find the thing that works well, that you think you can consistently do in your situation, to be a better person all around. So a lot's taken place since that first video that I put out there last week. The family went through a period of some COVID sickness. My wife got sick, and then about a week later, several of the rest of us got sick, and so I had to take some time off from training there. That certainly slowed progress down, unfortunately, but continuing to bounce back and continuing to get some things done. As we always that's what you have to do. Life comes, life offers challenges. It's never going to be perfect. You're always going to have adversity. You're always going to have challenges. So you can't get upset about it. You can't get mad about it. You have to continue to work where you are and continue to work to be better, because that's ultimately what we're trying to do, right? So we just take the good with the bad. There's no need getting all upset about it. No need getting uptight about it. No need blowing things out of proportion. You just deal with the circumstance you're in, whether it's an injury, whether it's a sickness, whether it's a difficulty with finances or something else. You just try to work with the situation the best you can with where you are. So if you have any questions about any of those things, comment below, and I'll definitely try to get back to you on some of that. So this week, as I head out on the run, this will be my probably be my longest run. I'm heading into the taper block now, so this was just before did this run just before we all got sick with COVID. Some things were going pretty well, and I was ramping up my mileage pretty good. So take a peek at it, and hopefully you'll enjoy the run.
Hey, I'm back at it again out here. I'm gonna try this Frog Pond Plus route I have again. So things didn't go quite like I had anticipated last time. Really ran out of daylight is really what happened last time, but I was still able to get over a half marathon in out here with quite a lot of elevation for what I normally do. So we're going to give it a go again and see if I can hit that 20 plus today. We'll see. Still getting started much later than I would have hoped to, but it's a pretty nice day. It's sunny, a little breezy in the 50s. So we'll see how it goes. Well, I've made it up 6.5 miles to the first turnaround point at the top of the hill. So doing good so far. Hydration's going well. I had two jugs of Tailwind with me, and a little bottle of water I dropped off up here at the top just so I could refill that a little bit on the way back down, just in case I needed a bit on the end of the way back down, back to the car. But yeah, doing good. Beautiful day. So I'm just over 12 miles in, back down most of the mountain. It's probably about a mile from the car, thereabouts, a little over a mile, where I'll restock and turn around and head back up the mountain again. It's the plan. We'll see how that goes. But things are going pretty good. I felt really good coming down. Downhill's always much better, even though, if you've ever done any of these little roads, you know that there's a little uphill on the downhill too. You always got to work a little bit whichever way you're going, but overall there's a lot more downhill this direction. Things are generally going well and still feel pretty good. Still planning on turning around and heading back up, and looking forward to knocking out a 20 plus today. So I'm over halfway now, I guess, back headed towards the mountain again. A little over 13 miles, about 13.25 miles. Running, well, looking at the pit stop. I don't stop my watch at pit stops. Some people do, but in a race, it wouldn't do you much good to stop your watch while you're running. So the time still goes during a race. So I usually just leave mine running. Gives you a little bit better picture of what you're dealing with. So I'm at 2 hours and 24 minutes in right now. So the sun's gonna be up a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. So I should have probably another hour and a half of sunlight, so that's good. Looks like I'm gonna have quite a bit of moonlight today as well. The moon is coming up, starting to get into the hills a bit here. I can tell it's definitely going to be a lot harder the second time around. But hey, it's going to make me tougher, right? So I haven't mentioned it, but the sun is setting. Well, it's up in the clouds right now. I don't know if you can see that or not. But the sun is still up there, but it'll probably be setting over the next 2.5 hours, and temperatures will be dropping as they were already in the low 50s. I made sure to bring some jacket and some gloves and some things with me just to make sure I stay warm enough on the run. So anytime you're out, be aware of what the weather's going to do, and be aware of what clothing you need to prepare. Maybe to bring something with you if you know it's going to be, weather's going to be changing in some way or the other. You definitely don't want to get out miles away from your car, miles away from home, and get too cold or too hot for that matter. So just be prepared on your runs. It's always better to be too prepared than to end up in the hospital. So make sure you do it the right way. So I'm a little over 3 hours, about 3 hours and 13 minutes into the run. Looks like I'm about, let's see, 17.5 miles so far. There've been a few hunters out this evening, so it's good. I have all this nice orange on, so hopefully they won't mistake me for something. But second time up the mountain is for real.
So that was my long run for this training session, getting ready for the Cheaha 50K. I did 2 halves essentially up this gravel road up a small mountain. I know some of you, if you're out in Colorado or whatever, our mountains are pretty small to you over here in Alabama, but they do have some decent elevation for the training we do for our races. You want to definitely do some training relative to the type of race that you're doing. And if you're doing Western States or hard rock, then this probably isn't going to get it done for you. You're going to need to do a little bit more elevation for sure. But what we're doing, it was great training for me. Just went up the same road twice, and got in about 26.3 miles. So it was a little over right around a marathon distance on some gravel and a little bit of pavement in there too, back up to my vehicle where it was. But it was a nice run. Enjoyed the run. Definitely tired me out. That second time up the mountain was tough. Was tough for sure. And that's part of these longer runs. Longer run for you, it doesn't necessarily just have to be 26 miles, but whatever's long for you, you're developing a new mental toughness as well as physical toughness. You know, you're helping your body understand how to operate longer, your muscles and your cardiovascular system, but at the same time, your mind has to get stronger to be able to deal with isolation a lot of times in these training runs, as well as dealing with the pain and different discomforts that come with it. So you're developing a lot of different things on these long runs. And so whatever's long for you, try to stretch it a little bit next time. Just push it just a little bit so that you're a little bit more uncomfortable with the distance. And sometimes that helps you become such a better runner. And in the long run, you're gonna improve your endurance a lot and become an overall better runner. But overall, it was a good run, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that it encourages you to get out and do something great this week. So find some time to go find your mountain, to find your obstacle, to find your challenges. Go find a race to get it signed up for. Pick out a plan. Pick out a goal and a plan and get to work. Thank you so much for watching this week. Please do share and like. It definitely helps us out. And we're just out here trying to encourage everyone to be better in life, to be better body, mind, and spirit as we go forward, trying to do great things in this world. So keep it going and go put one foot in front of the other. Go run to win.